what's up, what's up, what's up? This is the 24/7 Independent News. I'm your host, Uncle Scruff. I do a little freelancing for the show. But check this out. I got some stuff for you. You know, we've got a lot of immigrants coming in, and I don't really care if they come in or not. I'm a full equal opportunity person. But Mayor Eric Adams in New York City is getting ready. He's proposed an idea to pay people to have immigrants live in their house of $125 or something like that a day. Now, here's the thing. Here's the real thing. He said that he would like to have the churches start, and he's going to pay the churches, and then he's going to transition into the home, and he's going to pay the people in the house. Now, where are we getting this money? He says he has a $4.3 billion that they can use to pay for this, which is interesting because I'm sure those homeless people in the city that have been living there for years could use it. But you know what? I digress. Let's get into his proposal and then we'll get into talking about it. Alright, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Eric Adams. Oh, he's also trying to bring back stop and frisk. But don't worry, another story.
Nicole Maliotakis is the Republican from New York, and she joins me now to talk about this. Congresswoman, good morning. Look, let's begin. I know you're not a fan of this plan, right?
Well, of course I'm not a fan of this plan. It's absolutely outrageous. Not only does New York City have a housing crisis, we have an affordability crisis. People are renting apartments in New York City for thousands and thousands of dollars. People are having difficulty paying their mortgage, paying their rent, keeping up with their property taxes that have increased year after year. And the mayor is now telling hardworking taxpayers that they need to pay so an individual who crossed into our country illegally at the border last week can live rent-free. I mean, what planet are we living on? It's absolutely outrageous. And the mayor, I've said it before, needs to challenge, and he is, by the way, finally, after I've been calling for him for a year, to challenge this right to shelter law. It's finally going to go before a judge because this was intended for homeless New Yorkers, right? Citizens who fell on difficult times, became homeless, to give them a shelter, not for individuals who just entered our country last week or citizens of other countries. And, you know, it's just, of course, this is going to continue to just incentivize individuals to come over our border. That's exactly what's going to happen. He says they keep coming because you're giving them free housing.
You know what strikes me about this, Congresswoman, is the fact that for so long, those people, especially in New York and other, cities far away from the border, were very critical of the efforts to prevent people from coming illegally into the country. They were 2,000 miles away from where it was happening, but now it's on their doorstep and they're getting a taste of what Arizona and Texas has been dealing with for years. So there's a little bit of, you know what, this is the reality.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't understand this because, well, actually I do. See, the thing is the immigrants are coming in, and I don't mind the immigrants, but like I said, there are homeless people that are sleeping right on the streets that he steps over every day. He couldn't take that $4.3 billion that he's going to try and spend on the immigrants to put in your house, somebody that you don't know. You're going to let some stranger from anywhere, you don't know what it is. If you got kids, you're gonna let them around your kids. Now let's see, let's do it like this. Let's listen to a little bit more of this and see how dumb this plan is.
The situation, it'd be interesting to see if they change their mind on unfettered, migration across the border. Whatever happened to Homeland Security?
Well, you're absolutely right. And in a city, in post 9/11 world, New York City of all places should understand the dangers of having an open border. We found terrorists on the suspected FBI terror watch list attempting to cross over. Even in the interior, we found them. But in addition to that, you have enough fentanyl to kill.
Let's do it like this. They have all this money for immigrants, and I'm sorry to stop it just randomly, but they have all this money for immigrants. Question for you. How are your schools? How are your roads? How are your bridges? Do they work well? How are the safety of your kids in schools? Because we over in Newburgh, we just had a little girl get abducted off the middle school bus. We working on that. We got schools, right? Most of them are closed, but when the immigrants come in, you manage to open them, like in Detroit. Are we going to do the same thing here? We've got a hotel here. It's a motel, hotel, whatever, one of those things, but it got converted into like a women's shelter or something like that. But the immigrants came, and they kicked all the homeless people out, and they have nowhere to go now, but, for those rooms that are worth $125 a night, our government's paying $400 a night. We don't have money. Everybody says we can't afford stuff. We can let our kids just go hungry. We don't give them free lunch at school. States are opting out of that. Are we serious right now? Let me see how we do this. How do we do this? We don't take care of the people that are sitting right outside our door, but we can bring people from across the border. We can bring people from across the seas, from a war that we didn't want. All these things. They're kicking the immigrants out of Florida, but then now they're saying, oh no, that was just to scare you. Go check it out. I saw the article. But let's continue.
Millions of Americans being found on a regular basis now. The drug cartels have set up operations in our cities. It all needs to be stopped, and it can only be stopped if the president undoes the policies he put in place and secures the border, or if the Senate takes up the House's border security bill, which we passed last month. Senator Schumer has not passed our bill, and he has not passed his own bill. So he has to do something here so we can reconcile our differences and move forward. So short of the president or Senator Schumer doing something on border security, we're going to continue to see this crisis, and we should not have a mayor that continues to incentivize it. You know what's happening today in Washington?
And you know what? Who are you voting for? Because I know I'm not voting for anyone. I'm not voting for a Democrat or Republican. Although I could vote third party this year. You know why? Because Cornel West is running. Cornel West, the black professor from Harvard. He's an amazing professor. Maybe I'll take a look at him. That's another story too, though.
Washington, we've got the New York City Council Speaker, we've got the New York City Finance Chairman, Justin Brannan, here lobbying for more money so they can continue to add shelters, so they can continue to provide housing for migrants. I'm just not going to support that type of policy. We need to get border security in place, and we can work on immigration too, by the way. We should be addressing the issues of visas. We should be addressing the issues of judges and other matters so we can have a proper asylum process that flows and order at the border. But what's going on right now is unacceptable.
Absolutely. Close the border. Congresswoman Malliotakis, thank you so much for talking with us about this very important issue. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Nicole Malliotakis is the Republican from New York, and she joins me now to talk about this. Congresswoman, good morning. Look, let's begin.
So as you can see, Mayor Eric Adams, who did not want homeless people around, who wants to come back with stop and frisk, who's been kicking the homeless people all over the place in New York City. And I hate to say it, not too fond of his skin color. But anyway, you tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you want immigrants living in your house? And I'm not even saying it like that. Strangers. People that you don't know. People that you've never met before. Out of the blue. This is not a foreign exchange thing where you can hold somebody accountable or anything like that. You don't know what kind of immigrant you're getting. You don't know. Now, it was bad enough that they were housing them. And you know, that's not even bad. Everybody needs a place to go. But when you're taking care of others before your own citizens, and your own citizens are watching you do it, and you're doing it, and they're living right next door to you, or you're putting them in the same house with the people that you're not taking care of, yeah, your government's broken. But this is a thought from Uncle Scruff. Take it easy. 1. Peace. Nieces and nephews. Stay vigilant. Think about what's going on. This government can't work without us. So we need to show.